Get your hands off my wife. The temperature in the lobby dropped 20 degrees. Ryan's grip on Zara's arm loosened immediately as Dae-sung closed the distance between them with the predatory grace of an apex predator stalking prey. But what happened next? Let's just say Ryan learned a very important lesson about touching things that don't belong to him. And Zara? She discovered that her husband's business complications were far more dangerous and far more thrilling than she ever imagined. Because soon, photos arrived in a manila envelope. Each one showed Zara, leaving her apartment, entering her office, having coffee with friends. Every single photo marked with a red X over her face. The note inside was written in Korean, "She'll die like the first one did. You can't protect them all." Someone was hunting her. Someone who knew about Dae-sung's first wife. Someone who knew exactly how she died 30 years ago. And that person was closer than Zara ever thought. Welcome back to part 2. If you missed part 1, the link is in the description. Go watch it now because this story is about to get dark. And listen, part 1 got over 40,000 views and you guys blew up the comments asking for this, so if you want part 3, you need to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below what you think is going to happen. Trust me, you're not ready for where this is going. Now let's get into it. The lobby was silent except for the sound of Dae-sung's footsteps against marble. Ryan had gone pale, his hand dropping from Zara's arm like she'd burned him. The doorman had conveniently disappeared. The other residents had scattered. Smart people knew when to leave. Zara had seen Dae-sung in many moods over the past 2 months, charming, contemplative, passionate, tender. But this was different. This was the man his enemies feared. The man who'd built an empire on loyalty and blood. This was Kang Dae-sung, untamed and lethal. "Uncle," Ryan stammered, trying to regain composure. "This is between me and Zara. It doesn't concern. You touched her." Dae-sung's voice was soft. Terrifyingly soft. "You grabbed my wife without her permission. That concerns me very much." He stopped directly in front of Ryan, and despite being only a few inches taller, he seemed to tower over him. Raw power radiated from every line of his body. "I was just trying to talk to her," Ryan said, but his voice shook. "I have a right." "You have no rights where she's concerned. Not anymore." Dae-sung's hand shot out, gripping Ryan's wrist, the same wrist that had grabbed Zara. His fingers found pressure points, and Ryan gasped in pain. "Let me make this very clear, nephew. Zara is mine. She wears my ring. She carries my name. She sleeps in my bed. If you touch her again, talk to her again, even look at her again, I will break every bone in your hand. And then I'll move on to the rest of you." "You can't," Ryan tried to pull away, but Dae-sung's grip was iron. "I can. I have. I will." Dae-sung leaned closer, and Zara heard him whisper something in Korean that made Ryan's face go ashen. Then he released him, and Ryan stumbled backward, cradling his wrist. "Leave," Dae-sung said. "And tell my brother that if anyone from the Kang family harasses my wife again, our family problems will become very public. I have 30 years of receipts, and I'm not afraid to use them." Ryan looked at Zara one last time, something desperate and broken in his expression, then practically ran from the lobby. The silence that followed was deafening. Dae-sung turned to Zara, and the deadly predator vanished, replaced by concern. "Are you hurt? Did he hurt you?" "I'm fine," she managed. "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." He reached for her arm, gentle fingers examining where Ryan had grabbed her. A faint red mark was already forming, and Dae-sung's jaw clenched. "He put his hands on you. He frightened you. That's unforgivable." "What did you say to him?" "In Korean?" Dae-sung's smile was sharp and cold. "I told him that I've killed men for less than what he just did. And that if he values his life and his family's business, he'll forget you exist." Zara should have been horrified. A normal person would have been horrified. Instead, She felt something hot and primal unfurl in her chest. He'd threatened violence for her. Would commit violence for her. This dangerous, powerful man considered her worth protecting at any cost. "Thank you," she whispered. His expression softened. "Always. You're mine to protect now." He offered his arm. "Come. Let's go home." In the elevator, Zara couldn't stop shaking. Adrenaline, shock, relief, all of it crashed through her at once. Dae-sung pulled her against his chest, one hand stroking her hair. "Breathe, Jagiya. You're safe." "What does that mean?" "Jagiya? It's a Korean endearment. Like, sweetheart. Darling." His lips brushed her temple. "Mine." The possessiveness in his voice should have been a red flag. Instead, it made her feel cherished. Claimed. Safe. "I saw the bloody shirt," she said suddenly. "Last week. In the bathroom." He went still. "I was going to tell you." "Were you?" "Eventually." He pulled back to look at her. "There was a situation. With a rival organization trying to move into my territory. It required a personal touch. I handled it." "Handled it how? Do you really want to know?" She met his eyes. "Yes. If I'm in this, if I'm really your wife, I need to know what that means." The elevator doors opened to their penthouse. Dae-sung guided her inside, to the couch, and poured them both whiskey. 3 weeks ago, he began, settling beside her, a Chinese triad group decided to expand their operations into my Los Angeles properties. They kidnapped one of my restaurant managers, demanding I pay them for protection, or they'd kill him and burn down my businesses. Zara's hand tightened on her glass. "What did you do?" "I found where they were holding him. I went in with 3 of my men. We retrieved my manager and made it very clear that my territory is not negotiable." He took a drink. 2 of them tried to fight. They lost. The blood on my shirt was mostly theirs, some mine. I took a knife to the ribs, shallow, nothing serious. But I sent a message. No one touches what's mine. "You killed them," she said. Not a question. "Yes." No hesitation, no shame. "I won't apologize for protecting my people, Zara. That's the world I live in. The world you're in now, by marriage." She processed this. Her husband had killed 2 men less than a month ago. Had come home, cleaned up, and made her breakfast the next morning like nothing happened. "Does it frighten you?" he asked quietly. "Knowing what I'm capable of?" "It should," she admitted. "But honestly? After what Ryan did, after how his family treated me, knowing you'd burn the world down to keep me safe? It makes me feel protected." "Is that wrong?" "No." His hand cupped her face. "It's honest. I won't pretend to be something I'm not, Zara. I'm not a good man. I've done terrible things. I'll do terrible things again if necessary. But I will never lie to you, never betray you, and never let anyone hurt you. That's my vow." She set down her glass and climbed into his lap, straddling him like she had that first night. "Then I have a vow too. I won't judge you for the darkness you carry. I won't run from the danger. And I won't let you face it alone." His eyes darkened. "You don't know what you're saying." "Don't I? You think I'm fragile?" "I grew up in neighborhoods where survival meant being smart and strong. I built a business in a field that didn't want me because of my skin color. I watched my mother die slowly and painfully, then my father give up on life. I'm not breakable, Daniel. I'm not some delicate thing that needs to be sheltered." "What are you then?" "Yours," she said simply. "Your partner. Your equal. Your wife. In every sense." He kissed her then, desperate, claiming, full of promise and possession. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. "I'm falling in love with you," he confessed roughly. I thought it would take time, that maybe this would always be just convenient. But God help me, Zara, I'm falling and I can't stop. Her heart stuttered. I'm already there. I fell the night you made me dinner. Maybe before. Maybe when you saw me in ways Ryan never did. Say it, he demanded. Say the words. I love you, Dae-sung. His control shattered. Later, tangled in sheets with the city lights painting patterns on their skin, Dae-sung traced the line of her spine lazily. I need to tell you something else, he said. Something important. Zara turned to face him. I'm listening. There's going to be a meeting. In 2 weeks. In Seoul. His expression was serious. The heads of the major Korean organizations gather twice a year to discuss territories, agreements, disputes. It's essential that I attend. And I want you to come with me. To Korea? To a meeting with, what, the Korean Mafia? Yes. As my wife, you'd be under my protection. No one would touch you. But I want you to see all of it. Understand the full scope of who I am and what I control. He paused. And I want to show them that I'm not the same man who left 30 years ago. That I have someone worth coming home to now. Someone who makes me stronger, not weaker. When you say, show them, I mean that you're my greatest asset and my biggest vulnerability. Bringing you announces to every enemy I have that hurting you would destroy me. It's a risk. But it's also a message. I'm confident enough in my power that I can protect what's mine, even when I make you a target. Zara absorbed this. You're asking if I'm willing to paint a target on my back. I'm asking if you trust me enough to keep you safe while you do. She thought about it. The smart thing would be to refuse. To keep distance between herself and the darkest parts of his world. But she'd never been good at smart when her heart was involved. I'll go, she said. On one condition. Name it. You teach me to protect myself. I won't be helpless if something happens. I want to know how to fight, to shoot, to survive in your world. Respect flared in his eyes. Done. We start tomorrow. Tomorrow? That's fast. My wife wants to be dangerous? I'll make her lethal. His smile was sharp and proud. God, you're magnificent. Do you know that? She kissed him. Tell me again. He did. Multiple times. In multiple ways. But hold on, because we're about to introduce a character that changes everything. If you're loving this story, smash that like button and drop a comment telling me, should Zara learn to fight or is she getting in too deep? And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and hit that notification bell because what's happening next is going to be insane. Now back to the story. The next morning, Zara woke to find Dae-sung already dressed in athletic clothes. Come on, he said, offering her a hand. Training starts now. We're going to the gym. The gym turned out to be a private facility in the building's basement, state-of-the-art equipment and completely empty except for one man. He was massive. Easily 6'4", heavily muscled, with the build of someone who'd spent his life fighting. Korean, probably early 40s, with a scar running through his left eyebrow and the kind of face that had seen violence up close. Zara, this is Jin-woo, Dae-sung introduced. My head of security and the most dangerous man I know. He's going to teach you how to break bones. Jin-woo bowed slightly, polite but assessing. Mrs. Kong. It's an honor. You don't have to train me, Zara said. I'm sure you have better things to do than babysit the boss's wife. Jin-woo's expression didn't change. With respect, ma'am, anyone the boss values is worth protecting. And anyone smart enough to ask for training is worth teaching. He moved to the mats. Let's see what you can do. Try to hit me. 2 hours later, Zara was sweating, bruised, and exhilarated. Jin-woo was a patient but demanding teacher. He'd shown her how to strike vulnerable points, eyes, throat, groin. How to break a grip. How to use her smaller size as an advantage. How to fight dirty and survive. You're a natural, he observed, offering her water. Most people hesitate to hurt others. You don't. I grew up with 3 older brothers in the Bronx, Zara said. You learn to hit first and apologize later. Dae-sung watched from the sidelines with undisguised pride. Again. I want to see the knee strike again. They trained every morning for the next 2 weeks. Hand-to-hand combat with Jin Woo. Weapons training at a private range. Strategy sessions where Dae-sung explained the politics of his world, who to trust, who to fear, how to read a room full of predators. Zara absorbed it all like a sponge. But it wasn't all darkness and danger. Her business was thriving. The Kong name had opened doors she'd only dreamed of. She'd landed contracts for 3 major projects, a sustainable housing development in Brooklyn, a community center in Harlem, and a mixed-use building in Los Angeles that would include affordable housing units alongside luxury condos. You're changing the landscape, India observed during a meeting, looking at the renderings. Literally and figuratively. These projects are going to be in architecture textbooks. It feels good, Zara admitted. Like I'm finally building something that matters. And the marriage? Still feeling good? Zara thought about waking up in Dae-sung's arms. About laughing over dinner. About the way he listened when she talked about her work. About the heat between them that never seemed to cool. Yeah, she said softly. It's real now. Not just revenge or convenience. It's real. India smiled. Good. You deserve someone who sees you. Even if he is terrifying. But the peace couldn't last forever. 3 days before they were scheduled to leave for Seoul, Zara received a visitor at her office. Her assistant buzzed her. Zara? There's a woman here to see you. She says it's about your husband. She won't give her name. Warning bells rang immediately. Tell her I'm not available. I already did. She said to tell you she knew Yoon, your husband's first wife. Zara went cold. Send her in. The woman who entered was stunning, Korean, probably late 40s, elegant in a way that spoke of old money and careful cultivation. Her hair was swept up in a perfect chignon, her suit impeccable, her jewelry understated but expensive. But her eyes were hard as diamonds. Mrs. Kong, she said, settling into the chair across from Zara's desk without being invited. How lovely to finally meet you. I'm Lee Min-ji. I was Yoon's sister. Zara kept her expression neutral. Dae-sung never mentioned you. I'm not surprised. We haven't spoken since the funeral. 30 years is a long time to hold a grudge, but... Min-ji's smile was cold. Some wounds don't heal. What do you want? To warn you. About the man you married. Min-ji leaned forward. Did he tell you how Yoon really died? Car accident. Drunk driver. Is that what he said? Min-ji's laugh was bitter. Let me tell you the truth. My sister died because of Dae-sung's enemies. She was targeted, Mrs. Kong. Killed as a message to him. The drunk driver was paid to run her off the road. The room tilted. That's not, he would have said. Would he? Or would he have hidden it to avoid scaring you? Min-ji's eyes gleamed. My sister was innocent. She had nothing to do with his business. But she died anyway because she loved him. Because someone wanted to hurt him and she was the easiest target. Why are you telling me this? Because you're the easiest target now. Min-ji stood, smoothing her skirt. Dae-sung has made many enemies over 3 decades. And now he's parading you around, taking you to Seoul, making you visible. You're a beautiful, accomplished woman. You have so much to live for. Don't let him get you killed like he got my sister killed. Get out. I'm trying to help you. Get out of my office. Now. Min-ji smiled sadly. When something happens, remember that I warned you. Remember that loving Kang Dae-sung is a death sentence for the women foolish enough to try. She left, and Zara sat frozen at her desk, heart pounding. Was it true? Had Dae-sung's first wife been murdered because of him? And if so, what did that mean for her? That evening, Zara confronted him. Did you know your first wife's sister? She asked without preamble. Dae-sung looked up from the documents he was reviewing. Minji? Yes. We were close once, before Yoon died. Why? She came to my office today. His expression went dark. What did she want? To tell me that Yoon wasn't killed by a drunk driver. That she was murdered. Targeted because of you. Zara's voice shook. Is it true? The silence stretched between them like a chasm. Yes, he finally said. Zara felt like she'd been punched. You lied to me. I simplified the truth to avoid exactly this reaction. He stood, moving toward her, but she stepped back. Zara. You promised me honesty. Complete transparency about anything that affects me. Your first wife being murdered by your enemies? That affects me. You're right. He didn't make excuses. I should have told you the full story. It's not easy to talk about. She was 23. We'd been married 2 years. I was building my organization, making enemies, and I thought I'd protected her well enough. I was wrong. What happened? Dae-sung's face was carved from stone. A rival tried to take over my territory. When I refused to negotiate, they went after Yoon. Paid a driver to force her car off the road. She died instantly. His voice cracked. I found out who ordered it. I spent the next 6 months destroying everything he loved before I killed him. But it didn't bring her back. And Minji blames you. She should. I blame me too. I got my wife killed. He met her eyes. That's why I was alone for 30 years. Why I told myself I'd never marry again. Because loving me is dangerous, and I couldn't bear to lose someone else that way. Then why did you ask me to marry you? Why take that risk again? Because I'm selfish, he said bluntly. Because when I saw you, I wanted you more than I wanted to be safe. Because I hoped, that I was powerful enough now to protect you. That I'd learned from my mistakes. He moved closer, and this time she didn't retreat. But if you want to leave, I'll understand. I'll give you a divorce, enough money to never worry again, and protection for the rest of your life. I won't trap you in a dangerous marriage. Zara's mind raced. This was her out. The perfect excuse to walk away from the danger, the violence, the darkness. But when she looked at him, really looked, she saw pain. Guilt. Fear. Not for himself, but for her. Did you love her? She asked. Yoon? Yes. Differently than I love you, but yes. And you've spent 30 years punishing yourself for her death. Wouldn't you? No, Zara said firmly. I'd spend 30 years making sure I was strong enough to protect the next person I loved. Which is exactly what you did. She took his face in her hands. Minji is wrong. You didn't get Yoon killed. Your enemy did. And you made him pay for it. Zara. I'm not leaving you. I'm not scared of your enemies. And I'm sure as hell not going to let some bitter woman who's been nursing a grudge for 3 decades make me doubt us. She kissed him hard. But from now on, full truth. Everything. Even the ugly parts. Especially the ugly parts. Everything, he promised. Starting with this, Minji didn't come to your office out of concern. She came because someone sent her. Someone who wants to drive a wedge between us before Seoul. How do you know? Because Minji lives in London and has for 20 years. For her to suddenly appear in New York, at your office, 3 days before we leave? That's not coincidence. That's strategy. His jaw clenched. Someone's moving against me. Against us. Who? I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out. The next morning, Jin-woo arrived at the penthouse with news. We have a problem, he said without preamble. Someone's been asking questions about Mrs. Kang. Her routine, her office location, her security. 3 different information brokers have been contacted in the past week. Dae-sung's expression went deadly. Who's asking? That's the problem. The requests are being routed through so many intermediaries, we can't trace them back to the source. But whoever it is has money and knows how to stay hidden. Could it be Gregory? Zara asked. Ryan's father? He has reason to hate us both. Gregory Kang is many things, but he's not sophisticated enough for this kind of operation, Dae-sung said. This is professional. Someone with serious resources and serious intent. What do we do? Zara asked. We accelerate the timeline. We leave for Seoul tomorrow instead of 3 days from now. And we increase security. He looked at Jin-woo. I want 4 men on her at all times. No exceptions. And reach out to our contacts in Korea. I want to know if anyone's been asking about me or my family there. Jin-woo nodded and left. This is really happening, Zara said quietly. Someone's actually targeting me. Yes. Which means we adapt. Dae-sung pulled her into his arms. I know you're strong, Jagiya. I know you can fight. But until we identify the threat, I need you to be careful. Let the security do their job. Don't go anywhere alone. I have a meeting with a client this afternoon. Jin-woo will take you. And 2 additional men will be waiting outside. Daniel, I can't live in a bubble. You can for a few days. Until we're in Seoul where I have better control. He tilted her chin up. Please. For me. Let me protect you while we figure this out. She wanted to argue. But the fear in his eyes, real, raw fear, stopped her. Okay, she agreed. But you have to promise me something too. When we find out who's behind this, you let me help handle it. I'm not a damsel. I'm your partner. A slow smile crossed his face. You want revenge. I want to make sure whoever's threatening us knows exactly what happens when they mess with the Kangs. He kissed her deeply. Have I mentioned that I love you? Not in the last hour. I love you. Madly. Dangerously. Completely. Good, she said. Because you're stuck with me now. That afternoon's client meeting went smoothly, though Zara was hyper-aware of Jin-woo and his men positioned strategically around the restaurant. Professional, but visible. A message. She was reviewing contracts in the car on the way back to the office when Jin-woo's phone rang. He answered in Korean, his expression hardening with each word. Then, we're coming back now. 10 minutes. What's wrong? Zara asked. Your office building. There was an incident. No one was hurt, but someone left a package addressed to you. Ice flooded her veins. What kind of package? The kind my team is currently scanning for explosives. They arrived to find her office building evacuated, police presence, and Dae-sung standing on the sidewalk looking like barely contained violence. He pulled Zara into his arms the moment she exited the car. Are you hurt? I wasn't here. Jin-woo got the call before we arrived. She looked at the building. Was it a bomb? No. A message. His voice was tight with fury. India appeared, looking shaken. Zara, thank God. They wouldn't tell me anything except that there was a package for you and we had to evacuate. What was in it? Zara asked. Photos, a new voice said. Zara turned to find a detective approaching. Mrs. Kang? I'm Detective Park. I need to ask you some questions about. Show her, Dae-sung interrupted. She needs to see what we're dealing with. Detective Park hesitated, then handed Zara a clear evidence bag. Inside were photos of her leaving the penthouse, entering her office, at the gym with Jin-woo, having coffee with India. Every one marked with red X's over her face. And a note, in Korean characters. What does it say? Zara asked, proud that her voice stayed steady. Dae-sung's jaw clenched. It says, she'll die like the first one. You can't protect them all. The threat was clear. Someone was coming for her, just like they'd come for Yoon. And they wanted Dae-sung to know it was happening. We're leaving tonight, Dae-sung said once they were back at the penthouse. Jin-woo's arranging the plane now. We'll be in Seoul by tomorrow evening. Running won't solve this, Zara argued. Whoever sent those photos will follow us to Korea, where I have an army instead of a handful of security guards. Where I control the territory and know every shadow. He cupped her face. I can't protect you here, Zara. Not well enough. But in Seoul? On my home ground? I'm untouchable. And so are you. What about my business? My projects? India can handle things for a week or two. We'll tell your clients you're traveling for family reasons. He kissed her forehead. I'm not asking, Jagiya. We're leaving. Tonight. Part of Zara wanted to fight. To insist on staying, on not being driven out of her own city. But she'd seen the fear in his eyes when he'd looked at those photos. Had heard the strain in his voice reading that threat. He'd lost one wife to his enemies. He couldn't survive losing another. Okay, she said softly. We'll go to Seoul. But Daniel? When we find whoever did this, I'm going to destroy them so thoroughly that even their ghosts will regret threatening you, he finished. I'm going to make it clear that touching what's mine is a death sentence. And I'm going to enjoy every second of it. His voice was cold, lethal, promising violence. And God help her, Zara found it comforting. They flew out that night on a private jet, one of Dae-sung's many assets. The plane was luxurious, with bedroom, office, and enough space to forget they were even flying. Jin-woo and 4 other security personnel accompanied them, along with 2 women Dae-sung introduced as Ji-hae and Soo-min, assistants who would help Zara navigate Korean society and culture. You'll need traditional clothing for some events, Ji-hae explained. She was elegant, probably late 30s, with kind eyes. And understanding of protocols. Korean business culture is very hierarchical, especially in our particular circles. Particular circles being organized crime? Zara said bluntly. Ji-hae smiled. Yes. But also one of the oldest and most structured societies on earth. Respect and face are everything. You're an outsider, American, woman, black. Some will dismiss you automatically. Others will test you. What do I do? Stand beside your husband like you belong there, Soo-min said. She was younger, fiercer, with sharp eyes. Show no fear. Speak when spoken to, but don't let anyone diminish you. You're Mrs. Kong. That name carries weight. How much weight? Your husband controls approximately 40% of Korea's underground economy, Soo-min said casually. He has connections in government, police, military. The other organizations respect him because he's fair, powerful, and absolutely ruthless when crossed. You're his wife. That makes you untouchable. Unless someone wants to use me to hurt him. Which is why we're going where he's strongest, Ji-hae said gently. In Seoul, you'll be surrounded by his people. Protected by his reputation. Whoever sent those photos will have to come through an army to reach you. Zara found Dae-sung in the plane's office, reviewing documents. Can't sleep? He asked, pulling her into his lap. Too much adrenaline. She settled against his chest. Your assistants are terrifying. Ji-hae and Soo-min? They're efficient. They said you control 40% of Korea's underground economy. Closer to 45% now, but who's counting? He kissed her neck. Does that frighten you? It should. But honestly, after today, knowing you have that much power makes me feel safer. She turned to face him. Tell me about Seoul. About your life there. So he did. He told her about building his empire from nothing after leaving America. About the fights, the alliances, the wars. About learning to be harder, colder, more calculating than his enemies. About creating an organization built on loyalty rather than fear, where his people were protected and valued. I'm not a good man, he said again. But I'm good to my people. And you're my people now. The most important of my people. What happens at this meeting? The one with the other organizations? We discuss territory disputes, business arrangements, shared enemies. We make agreements that keep the peace. Sometimes we make alliances. Sometimes. He paused. Sometimes we eliminate threats. You think whoever's targeting me will be there? If they're Korean organization, yes. Or they'll have sent a representative. Either way, we'll find them. His arms tightened around her. And then I'll remind everyone why threatening what's mine is a fatal mistake. They made love somewhere over the Pacific, 30,000 feet above the ocean, with the darkness all around them. And when Zara fell asleep in his arms, she dreamed of blood and roses, danger and desire, the sweet terrible intoxication of loving a dangerous man. They landed in Seoul to gray skies and cool autumn air. A convoy of black SUVs waited on the tarmac, serious security for a serious threat. Welcome to Korea, Mrs. Kong, Jean Woo said as they descended the stairs. The drive into the city was fascinating. Seoul was massive, modern, beautiful, skyscrapers and tradition mixed seamlessly, neon and ancient temples side by side. Dae-sung's Seoul residence was in Gangnam, the wealthiest district. A private estate hidden behind high walls and serious security, traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern luxury. It's beautiful, Zara breathed as they entered. It's home, Dae-sung said. Or it was. Now home is wherever you are. Staff appeared, maids, cooks, more security. All bowing respectfully, all Korean except for a few multilingual assistants. Ji-hai showed Zara to the master bedroom, spacious, elegant, with traditional ondal heated floors and modern amenities. Rest, she suggested. Tonight there's a dinner. Small gathering. Just the inner circle. Tomorrow the formal meetings begin. After she left, Zara stood at the window looking out at the manicured gardens. This was real. She was in Korea, preparing to meet with Mafia bosses, hunting whoever wanted her dead. Her life had become unrecognizable from what it had been 3 months ago. And somehow, she'd never felt more alive. Okay, I'm going to need everyone to scream in the comments because part 3 is going to be absolutely wild. We've got Mafia meetings, a mystery villain, Zara becoming a boss, and secrets that are going to change everything. This video literally took me hours to write and edit, so if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Let's get to 5,000 likes on this one. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe now and turn on notifications because part 3 drops soon and you do not want to miss it. Comment below, who do you think is threatening Zara? Is it someone from Dae-sung's past, or is the Kong family behind it? And do you think Zara can survive in the Mafia world? Let me know your theories. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in part 3.